Alright, homies and my sexuals. Fair warning, extraordinarily low-key energy today. I'm not that same hyped up beast that I typically try to be, because I'm just trying to do some good recovery work, you know? I literally have it written down in the program while my right leg is recovering, that this is the fuck around intermission, because I don't think I'm going to need to take off so much time to where I have to restart the program again. So it's just that little bit of, I'm still hitting semi-heavy weights for really difficult technique, but I can't do anything that's overly strenuous so that I can actually recover, you know? I got to be able to feel out what's best for my body while I'm also maintaining strength at the best of my abilities. If you haven't heard, after my left knee, my quad tendon on the left is fully recovered. I can say that with confidence. Of course, the risk is obviously still going to be there. That's kind of just what happens when you get injured in a pretty major way. You are always going to be at risk for injury to a higher degree in that part forever, unless you continuously do the proper recovery and accessory work to keep it from getting too weak, which is what I've been doing. I'm still doing my sled pulls because I know that that's the best thing for my knees right now. But because it's so common when you get injured and have to take so many months recovering one side of your body, the other side, when you become fully healed, is twice as likely to get injured. And right now, don't get me wrong, I'm not injured. I'm definitely okay. Like, if you're going to see the lifts today, and I was impressed by myself, but regardless of that, I can still feel the discomfort, and there's still something straining behind my right knee. I don't remember what muscle it is, but it's the muscle that connects behind your knee. That's one of your calf muscles, you know, it's on the inner side of my right leg. It's the calf muscle that just runs straight up behind the knee. And that's a scary place to have a muscle straining, because that's where all of your support is. I need that thing to be as strong as humanly possible so that I can continuously crash under the bar while I do Olympic lifting. You know, today I only went up to 2 plates on clean and jerk because right now I'm not in a position where I can do anything heavy on Olympic lifting, because to whip underneath the bar and catch it with proper form, I have to be fast and efficient. But the main thing is fast. And the faster you jump under the bar, obviously you're going to crash harder on those sensitive parts. You know, your joints and tendons and bones don't like it as much, and that's why we work up the weight at a slow rate while doing our proper accessory work and warm-up stuff. And so right now, while the muscle's slowly strained, I just kind of got to give it some space to grow. And so to get over that, you know, I tell everybody, even if it feels like you can't lift and you don't want to lift anymore until you're fully healed because you can't lift the same heavy weight for just ripping that shit as hard as you can, there's always a way to put in that maximum effort and not only maintain, but increase your strength for when you become fully healed. Because, I mean, again, look at my left quad tendon. I spent the better part of 6 months rehabbing that fucker, and I've never been more confident. You know, I've never been stronger because even though I couldn't go that heavy the past 5 months up until this past month, I maintained my accessories. I maintained working on the PT. I allowed it to heal. I didn't overdo it, but I also didn't underdo it. You know, it's just sticking in that good balance that allows your body to continuously grow, even if you can't see the progress every single day. And if you need to make a workout harder or make it to where it feels like it's worth it, nobody wants to do it. But you don't need to do 1,000 accessories or 1,000 PT exercises, although doing a couple of those is definitely helpful. Just slow down the lift itself, you know? Instead of picking up the weight, slow down the lift, and then that light weight is going to feel fucking horrendous, I promise. Today on clean and jerk, I before I went to the gym, all I wrote down on my phone was slowest tempo possible before I get past the knees. And I also decided last second to throw in the little spin of pausing when I catch the split jerk, because I never do that, and I do have a tendency to push on my front foot. It's getting better, and my form's never been as good as it is now. That doesn't mean the bad habit isn't likely to come back at some point, especially while I'm recovering my right leg. So just slowed it down as slow as humanly possible, felt that CNS burn, and it makes you really emphasize the form of whipping underneath it without having to go so heavy. You know, I was whipping under it as hard as I would need to whip under 275 tip with a normal technique, you know, which is great because the risk of injury is gone and the amount of effort is still at 100% for what my body's capable of doing today. So I'm very, like, the technique, I was very proud of it. It was a little rough getting in, and my energy was super low just because I honestly wasn't that hyped up to work out, just with having to get off the program where I've been physically peaked for the past month. But it's what's necessary. It's what'll make me a better lifter in the long run either way. And to be fair, I got 3 12-hour shifts at the hospital in a row. Tonight's night 2. So it's been a lot of back and forth, like really having to grind through and keep the mental high while I have 0 time to breathe in my daily schedule. But other than that, I'm the most surprised and proud of my front squat for sure, because holy shit. I was expecting to stop at 2 plates because I didn't want it to be uncomfortable for my right leg, just because right now fully flexing or extending my leg to where my knee is fully compressed or extended is what makes it not hurt, but I can feel the discomfort, which will lead to an injury in the long run, even if I could push through heavyweight through sheer mental. And I just decided the best way to go through some good rehab when you're letting your body heal and recover is to slow down the weight as much as humanly possible so that the explosion out of the ass to grass position doesn't overuse those fucked up muscles. And boy, I knew my front squat strength was coming back and my clean and jerk was getting back to where the strength used to be, but shit, man. I was astonished because I put on 275s because I felt really good after 2 plates, and I was like, I mean, if I feel primed and ready to go, I might as well try it. And it was easy, and I'm like, well, shit, because I'm trying to hold as slow a tempo on the descent as possible so that I can focus on keeping a proper squeeze on those sensitive muscles right now, and the explosion up should come with it, because if I'm able to go down that slow, I'm going to be able to come back up without injuring myself, at least for the most part. And dude, I got up to 3 plates. I was like, shit, another low-key 3-plate lift that I didn't even mean to hit. Fuck. And yeah, I definitely could have gone heavier, which is great, because on the normal program, the plan was to start at 3 sets of 4 at 315 and then potentially go up to 325 the next week. So whenever I get back on it, that's going to be what we're repping out. And with how slow I was able to hold that shit without letting the form crumble, yeah, we're going to be killing that shit. I only got a slight burn on my core too. I normally would be like dying when it came to that kind of a lift. But again, that's when I'm recovering. I don't like pushing any sort of volume or strenuous like cardio type lifting where I'm just going balls to the walls as hard as I can every single set. Just one really good, proper, like a comfy heavyweight set, and not worried about any volume, just making the lift as hard as possible so that I don't have the same risk of injury. Other than that, really good clean pull. I did push it slightly more than I probably anticipated, which is okay because it felt fine. But I might go a little lighter next time if I end up having to recover for another week, just because doing as slow a tempo as I can is the best way for me to recover with these kinds of lifts. But it also put me in a position where on this clean pull specifically, with how heavy 365 is, I was definitely feeling it the most behind my knee, which again, it's good and bad because I don't want to overdo it, but pushing it a little bit to feel that to feel what your body's capable of and how much you can give it is a great way to gauge what to do the next time. You know, this whole sport is trial and error, so you have to really give yourself the availability to understand what that's supposed to feel like for what your body's built to do. You know, not anybody else's, just yours. But it's good. I know exactly where it's at now, and I also got a really good feel for which muscle exactly what muscle exactly was feeling like shit. So I'm gonna get the massage gun to it and just keep stretching it out as much as I can, especially while I'm on my shift. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I can do, you know, just not overthinking it, just doing the best of my abilities with what I've gotten, I told you guys, I really didn't expect my right leg to get fucked up after my left one recovered. I told you guys that I was going to continue pushing it at an efficient but safe rate with my left quad tendon while I was in the middle of healing, because it's okay if I get injured again, because that's how I learn, you know? I go as slowly and efficiently and safely as possible so that I can build up that strength and know exactly what my body's capable of doing. And if I'm constantly undercutting my potential every lift, I'm never going to know what is safe, you know? And who would have thought that right after my right leg would be the one feeling like shit? But again, it's all good. It doesn't matter that I'm not lifting the heaviest weights I've ever lifted today. It's the showing up and doing my best that's really progressive, you know, for what I want to be doing. Physically, it was extremely low-key, and I obviously am not peaked right now because of what I'm feeling, but I'm still very proud and very happy with the effort and the strength that I portrayed today. So I'm definitely going to give it, I'll say an 8.35, because again, it's that confidence that I'm missing, where I can only do these heavy weights at a super duper slow tempo, so that I can feel every single part of the lift and then stop the moment I may need to stop. If I were, that's why I couldn't go heavy on clean and jerks. If I were feeling completely fine, I probably would have pushed closer to 275 or 255 more likely. Because I definitely have the strength and I definitely have the capabilities to do so. It's just being able to confidently bounce off my knee without pulling the muscle, or, you know, that quick explosion is going to be what, you know, imagine you grab a rope and you just tighten it really quickly, or you pull both sides as hard as you can right out of nowhere. That's kind of what it feels like when you're hitting the bottom of a clean or a snatch and you have to come right back up right away. It's like you're just fully tightening that rope as hard as you can and then having to push through that drive without letting it snap. And it's a scary feeling when your body's not feeling super comfortable. So you gotta really take your time and feel out what weight feels best and just slow the weight down. Make the recovery work difficult. Mentally, I'll give it a solid 8.6. I had a bit of a rough one yesterday because I kind of just stared at the wall too long. You know, nobody was home. I didn't have anybody to hang out with, and I didn't have anything to give myself to do because it was a rest day. So I was just kind of sitting there in my own thoughts for a day, and it really showed me how much I need to work on being okay with being alone, you know? Because not saying that I need to isolate. Being social is a wonderful thing, and people are social creatures. You know, we need that social interaction to survive, in my opinion. I think everybody needs someone in their life at least. But I realized that I got so dependent recently on making sure I'm around as many people as possible because I feel the most passionate with other people, which is great. But everybody has a bit of independence versus dependence that they have to satisfy for their mental health to be at its peak. And for me, I can be 90% of the time dependent on social interaction because I love being around people and expressing my passions and love to them to make myself feel even better about what I've been doing. But other than that, like in that extra 10% where I'm by myself and I feel like I have nothing to do, it makes you contemplate everything you're doing, because it's more of it's not that you don't know what you're doing or you don't have an idea of what you want to work toward. You just kind of lose focus on what is important in your personal daily life at that point. You know, I was sitting there thinking like, oh, I got to pick up a new passion. I got to pick up a new hobby. I got to worry about all these things. I got my master's degree supposed to be next year. And you just think about all these things that, you know, they're not the end of the world ever, you know? If you're breathing and you're living, then enjoy your life for the sake of just being conscious, you know? We're lucky to be here, and I'm lucky to be putting in the effort that I am regardless of having a slow day and being by myself. So not so much that I need to force myself to be alone more. It's just when I interact with that kind of a day, I want to be more prepared to take charge of my own independence in that moment. Because not saying that I need people to carry on through the day, because I'm always going to be able to carry myself when it comes to surviving and the materialistic shit. But it was just the mental support that I don't, like, I can always give myself a positive self-talk like this to reaffirm and reassure what I'm working toward and what I want to believe in. But in that moment where you're just sitting by yourself and you have nothing to do, and like, that's what I really wanted to work on at the gym today as well, because I knew I wasn't that hyped up. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go as heavy or as hard as I wanted to, and it's going to be a very low-key kind of day. So, and I was honestly thankful I got there early because I had work. I have work in 30 minutes. But I was thankful I got there before anybody even showed up, because I think there was maybe 30 people in the gym and I didn't know anybody. And I was like, I'm not even going to try to meet people today, because I always try to make it a thing to meet someone new while I'm there, which is not a bad thing at all, by the way. It's just for what I want to work toward right now, I want to give myself that personal growth. You know, I got to give my individual brain some attention. You know, I'm always talking about giving other people or giving certain parts of your physical body attention, but I don't think I talk much about giving my own mental attention, because I've gotten so used to be mentally secure. You know, I typically have a very positive mindset, and I've got a good head on my shoulders about what I want to be doing. So it kind of hits me like a truck whenever I have a day where I overthink everything. So I want to really work on just being okay with having not as much to do. You know, you could always do some shit and you can always make yourself busy, but it's good to be able to embrace a nice low-key, chill, isolated kind of day whenever it comes to you. You know, I was literally looking out the window waiting for my girlfriend to get home from work like a lost fucking puppy. And it's like I could have been playing a video game. I could have just been taking a nap, taking a bath, chilling out, getting a little homework done, maybe clean up the room a little bit. Just something just to keep myself a little productive, or just enjoy the day a little bit. When you get to be an adult and you've got to take care of so many things in your personal life for the sake of continuously growing while also surviving, it becomes really normal to feel like you have to do some form of absolutely productive work for the sake of the statistics every single day, you know, like making sure I go to work at the hospital, making sure I go to the gym no matter what, making sure I do my schoolwork no matter what, making sure I have enough money, making sure I have enough meal prep, all this other bullshit, and then trying to plan too far in the future until you just burn out and you overthink it, and then you fuck up your mental for that day. And I kind of just sat in bed and stared at the wall and made myself upset for no better reason than I just needed that experience to understand what I needed to work on, you know? Even though the answer can be so simple and obvious, and you know exactly what you need to do to get through something or to feel better for the next future day where you have that kind of shitty day. Sorry, I'm saying day a lot, but you gotta have those shitty days sometimes to know exactly how to grow through them and do better for the next one, you know? There is no redos and there is no do-over when it comes to that kind of shit. It's just embrace that shitty day for what it was, move on in a positive, productive way, do the best you can with whatever time is left in the day, and when the next day comes, you know that you'll have that experience to build upon. So I'm excited for the next one that comes up. I don't know when, but it will. And I'm just going to find like a video game or some shit to fuck around with, because I don't play much anymore, and it'd be nice to do a little something kiddish, you know? But anyway, I've been talking way too long. I got to go to work, but appreciate you guys hanging out and hearing me out. We yap about it as always, but let me know how your lifting lives been going. I will be back tomorrow. I've got, what is it? I have power snatches and pause back squat. So that's what the normal schedule would be. I'm probably just going to keep doing some good accessory work and not really worry too much about it, and just do as hard tempos or pauses or technique-driven lifts that I can, so I don't have to worry about any weight. But it'll be some form of snatch and some form of back squat mixed with my leg recovery. And sometime next week, if I feel good, we'll get back on the program. If not, I'll take another week. Who gives a fuck? You know, I'm getting better and I'm enjoying life by the minute. So I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.